let's queer up social justice. No. Jim Obergefell shares 9th anniversary of Supreme Court marriage equality. 9 years ago today, the U.S. Supreme Court delivered a landmark decision in Obergefell versus Hodges, ushering in marriage equality for same-sex couples nationwide. This historic ruling not only transformed the lives of countless LGBTQ+ Americans, but also marked a significant moment in the ongoing fight for civil rights. Jim Obergefell, the named plaintiff in the case, reflected this week on this monumental anniversary with a mixture of pride and disbelief. In the exclusive interview with The Advocate, Obergefell shares, quote, "Every year, this anniversary reminds us of our journey towards equality and the continuous fight to protect what we have earned," end quote. Obergefell attended a Pride Month celebration at the White House Wednesday evening. John Arthur and Jim Obergefell married in Maryland in 2013 when Arthur was terminally ill. They couldn't register their marriage in their home state of Ohio due to non-LGBTQ+ friendly laws. When Arthur passed away, Ohio refused to list Obergefell as the surviving spouse on his death certificate. As a result, Obergefell sued. His case was consolidated with others from Michigan, Kentucky, and Tennessee for the Supreme Court hearing. The Obergefell ruling received praise and support from the LGBTQ+ community and trailblazers, including Kelly Robinson, president of the Human Rights Campaign. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi also commemorated the anniversary with a social media post. Well, as someone who has married the same man 4 times, first at the mass wedding in front of the IRS building during the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bi equal rights and liberation, then in a July 3rd, 1994 commitment ceremony in Chicago in front of 150 guests, including friends and family. Then again in a 2012 civil union. See how we're going with commitment ceremonies, civil union, all the steps. In Chicago with friends and family. And finally, when our civil union was transformed into a legal marriage in 2025, this anniversary is exceptionally meaningful to me and my husband, Rick. So, thank you.
Fantastic. You know, I just remember this idea of marriage. What I remember is, you know, it was to gain the rights that came with being married. And when I first started working in healthcare in the 80s and everyone was dying from AIDS, and we were constantly telling partners, you're not family, you don't count, we can't listen to you, you can't go in the room, you can't make medical decisions, you can't, and it was like, and I remember getting screamed at by people who were like, I'm the only person in his life, what do you mean? Like, who else do you expect to be here? I've been with this person for 15 years, his mom's not coming, his dad's not coming, like it's me. Yeah. And legally, we couldn't do anything.
And that's an important part of this conversation because we have to keep reminding and we have to educate Bad Poppy and every one of us that this is not a religious ceremony.
No.
Right.
The United States government, since its inception, the first moment they came over across, you know, and established the United States, legally, marriage was the following things. And because that word has been used 247 years, 40, whatever, you know, however many years, that's the reason why the word marriage is there. It's not because it needs to be a Catholic wedding, a Methodist wedding, a Jewish wedding. Right. It is a legal document.
Right.
The contract. Right. The federal government, since its inception, has used the word marriage in that term.
Right.
So we have failed in some degrees to explain to people that we are not trying to be blessed by the Pope.
Right.
It's nice that he likes us.
Sometimes.
It'd be nice if, sometimes it'd be nice if things were
when he's
better.
not saying the F word.
Yeah. We'll work on it. One step at a time. You want everything at once. It's like, go step at a time. But I'm just saying, but the important thing here is that we have to continue to explain to people, marriage is not about religion in this moment. It is about the legal representation of that word for inheritance and hospitalization and healthcare.
And that goes along with our last story about the misinformation online, right? People get online and they start writing these things. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what this has nothing to do. You can go to church and you can do whatever you want. You can
be as spiritual as you want.
You know,
And our marriages aren't going to affect your marriage.
Well, that's the thing. Do you remember when they used to say, "Oh my gosh, if they allow gay marriage, it's going to ruin marriage in America"?
Of all these people who
with all these divorces,
yes.
straight divorces.
But the point of the matter is still the religious community the religious community is misinformed the world that this is about religion, and it has nothing to do with it.
And then the other important part is, just like we receive that, it can be taken away. And people need to really be aware. Yeah, people need to really be aware of who they're voting for. People have to really be aware of these judges that are in their local communities. People just have to be aware. You know, I'm really sorry to bother you guys. I was on this WhatsApp one day and they were like, we can't have any real discussion. Like, this WhatsApp is only for like the party, and I don't know if you want to go get a facial. And somebody wrote something real, like, don't forget to vote. And they were like, oh, we can't talk about that. You have to talk about it. You got to grow up.
Yeah.
That's why this show exists.
Part of being an adult. These things are important.
Yeah.
Who gets in these positions controls our lives.
Well, and presidents appoint SCOTUS justices.
Well, that's right. And two Supreme Court justices have said that they want to see the case brought back so that they can,
that's right.
rule again.
If you see what they just did to women, right? And 3 of them sat in front of Congress and said, I would never, and did it anyway. Yeah. We're not far behind.
No.
And to think that we are is just...
I feel like I definitely see this from a little bit of a different view, because although I'm happy that I do have the right to marry an individual regardless of their gender, I also feel like, unfortunately, because I am polyamorous, I won't be able to marry all the people that I love, if that makes sense. So,
well, that's a whole different issue beyond just the concept of marrying. That's polygamy, and until we can.
Well, it's actually it's more so polyamory, because I don't consider myself polygamous. I consider myself.
You
polyamorous.
may not consider yourself, but the legal term is
marriage.
Yes, the marriage.
And this is all about legalities, and this is all about how the law reads today and the definition of the law.
No, I definitely understand that, but I guess there's something to be said that there's still, even though we have gained a lot of rights, we still have some ways to go.
Can people do civil unions to more than one person?
No.
Because a civil union is reflected as a
legal
marriage issue.
And not only that, but I think certain states still actually has that if you are with another partner while you're married, regardless of whether it's consensual or not, you can one, it will basically abolish the marriage, and 2, it could even land you in jail.
Really?
So we still have some ways to go regarding certain identities, but it doesn't necessarily negate the fact that we did have these victories, and we do have these,
and we have to continue them. That's what I keep saying. It's baby steps.
Exactly.
Baby steps. We have to keep moving forward. We can't be stagnant. We can't fall back.
Giant steps. Some people are out of time for baby steps.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to take giant steps.
And I understand that, but we're looking at a very diverse community where there is no one answer. I mean, her answer is
him.
I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm
a trans non-binary man.
Yes, man. You're right. And
you should have told us that in the beginning.
I apologize. But I mean, his goals are not the same as your goals, as it is our goals or anybody's goals.
Right.
So that's the challenge of this community. That's why the table is so big, and finding that sweet spot for everybody is constantly moving.
Yeah.
And that's why pride is so damn difficult.
I think one thing you're saying that's really important to remember, though, is that in moving forward, that all these things are changeable, right? If that's not working for you, then we can write a law to make it work.
Right.
These things aren't immovable. When people get all upset, like, oh my gosh, if you do this, what's going to happen to the earth is going to fall off its axis. The
people are going to start marrying their dogs. And
more misinformation. Yay, misinformation. Hooray.
Yeah.
So this is a
great
constantly
conversation.
challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.